News just came out that the Packers have decided to exercise Devonte Wyatt's fifth-year option. In the past 30 minutes, it came out here from Jordan Schultz, who says, sources, the Packers are exercising the fifth-year option on defensive tackle Devonte Wyatt, locking in a guaranteed $12.9 million for the season, for the 2026 season. The number 28 pick in 2022 has totaled 12 sacks in 3 seasons with Green Bay. So by May 1st, the Packers had to make the decision, do they want to exercise Quay Walker's fifth-year option or Devonte Wyatt's fifth-year option? Both guys were first-round picks in 2022, and you can only use one fifth-year option per year. And so the Packers had to make that decision on those first-round picks, and they decided to go with Devonte Wyatt. And I think it makes perfect sense. I talked about this back in February when I made my prediction that they would give Wyatt the fifth-year option and not Quay Walker. Just because when you look financially at how much linebackers make and how much interior defensive linemen make, just financially based on how much Devonte Wyatt's option is going to cost, it just makes financial sense. So I'll explain it here. So Wyatt, as we see here, gets a $12.9 million guarantee. I believe that I had in the prediction video in February, I think I got it from somewhere else. It was close to $13 million, so basically pretty similar there. And Quay Walker's fifth-year option was going to cost more than Devonte Wyatt's fifth-year option just because Devonte Wyatt didn't hit certain thresholds, which would allow him to make a little bit more money if he got that fifth-year option. And so the fact that giving Devonte Wyatt his fifth-year option is going to be cheaper than giving Quay Walker a fifth-year option, it sort of just makes logical sense to do it with Devonte. And then when you look at how much interior defensive linemen make, there are 15 interior defensive linemen making $20 million or more. There's only one linebacker in the NFL making $20 million exactly, and Roquan Smith. And so interior defensive linemen make a ton more money, and so when you get to pay Devonte Wyatt less than Quay Walker, I mean, it's just pretty easy decision for the Packers in deciding who to give this fifth-year option. And the Packers sound like they're fully ready to keep Wyatt and Quay Walker around for the long haul. Brian Gutekunst had talked about that earlier in the offseason, and then right before the draft, he said this: for both those guys, whatever mechanism we use, we'd like to keep those guys around for 26 and beyond. Gutekunst had said a little bit before the draft. He said, so whether that's doing the fifth-year option or extending them, one way or another, we're planning on doing that. We'd like to do that. So I would expect the Packers to give Quay Walker an extension. He will be under contract for the 2025 season. This will be Walker's fourth year as well as Devonte Wyatt's fourth year. Now that Wyatt has the fifth-year option, he'll be under contract for 2025 and 2026. And so the Packers have to make that decision. Do they want to give Quay Walker the extension sometime soon before the 2024 year starts? Or will they wait till after the year when Quay would technically become a free agent and give him a new deal after the season? That's a question the Packers have to decide there, and how much they do want to pay Quay Walker. And I do think Quay Walker was playing better football as time went by, and I think starting off in year 2 of Hafley's system, just like with a lot of other players as well, I think Quay Walker should continue to take some steps forward. And also with Devonte Wyatt, I think he's a really solid pass rusher. When you look at one number here, he has had the 11th highest pass rush win rate among defensive linemen last year per PFF, with guys who had at least 100 snaps at 12.9%. So he was close to, top 10 in pass rush win rate for interior defensive linemen. And so I think when you look at things like that, there's no doubt that Wyatt, when healthy, is really disruptive when it comes to rushing the passer. That's something the Packers very much need. He may not be quite as good when it comes to, stopping the run, but he's a very, very solid player. So I think this move makes lots of sense. And I would expect to see a Quay Walker deal done sometime before, next free agency, just because Gutekunst, unless he's not being honest, but it sounds like he really wants to have Quay Walker around as well. So those are my thoughts. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.